2, and 3. Tell me what you feel when you're inside your mother's belly.
I don't know how to describe it.
Just do your best. What does it feel like to be inside her?
It feels like an accident.
Feels like an accident.
It just feels energetic.
Continue.
Feels like I'm a little light.
Beautiful. Continue. What does this little light get to do inside the belly?
Just seeing like a little fetus.
You're feeling small, like a little fetus. And when you feel like a little light, energetic, and it feels like an accident, tell me more about this feeling of feeling like an accident. What gives you that impression?
It's like I'm bursting, like it was unexpected. Like, oh, it's here.
Beautiful. Continue a little more. What happens when you're inside the belly? Anything interesting?
I don't know how to describe it.
Just do your best. Go ahead.
Like in the womb, just imagining being in there growing.
I'm going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, you're going to go forward while you are inside your mother's belly, moving forward to a significant experience on the count of 3. And 3. What do you feel?
I feel like I'm being pushed.
Like you're being pushed?
Yeah, or pulled.
Go ahead. And what is it that is happening? What is happening? Are you being pulled or pushed? As if you know, which one is it? Are you being pulled or pushed?
I feel like I'm just kind of floating around. Like I don't really feel
Okay, so you're
I'm
floating
growing.
and growing. And what do you hear? Your mother's thoughts or emotions, or what she gets to talk about. As if you know, what is she feeling in this moment while you're inside her belly?
I'm just feeling surprised and anxious, overwhelmed. She did not want to have a kid with this person.
Mm. And in that moment, pay attention to what happens to your little body. What mom didn't want to have a kid with this person? What is it that you feel like when mom doesn't want to have a kid with this person?
She's embarrassed that she slept with him.
She's embarrassed. And what do you feel inside the belly when mom is embarrassed?
I feel just out of place.
I feel out of place. That's it. Continue.
Yeah.
Mom is embarrassed. She's feeling anxious, overwhelmed. She didn't want to have a kid. Tell me a little more. What happens when you feel out of place? What does your body react like when you're feeling out of place?
I guess it just kind of feels like embarrassing, like I'm supposed to be there.
Continue.
It feels like it was just random that they had sex.
I'm going to count to 3. You're going to go forward a little bit to another significant experience while you are inside your mother's belly. You're going to allow yourself to feel and experience that moment very deeply on the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. What do you feel?
It's hard to pinpoint, I guess, anticipation or
Feel this anticipation.
mhm.
What does it look like, this anticipation? What does it feel like?
It just feels like it's winding up.
It's winding up. And what is it that is winding up, I wonder?
Oh no.
As if you know. What is it that is winding up? The first thing that comes without thinking.
Is that an anticipation for life?
Anticipation of life. That's it. Continue a little more. What happens then? What happens then?
I don't think I
Repeat that back, please.
I'm just trying to imagine how I felt during that time, and it's hard to put words to. I just feel like I'm going to burst.
You're going to burst. That's it. Continue a little more. What happens then when you feel like you're going to burst?
It's like I was watching everything from above,
Okay.
from the corner of the room. Like it's like I had an aerial view.
You had an aerial view. Very well. So what happens then? Take a look at it from the corner of the room where you're standing, your soul is standing, and tell me what happens then.
I just saw my mom holding me.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel in that moment when mom is holding you?
I guess this is where there's like a schism because it's like, I don't know how. I know my adoptive mom came in and they put her in a wheelchair and they gave me to her and they wheeled her out like she was the one that gave birth.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I want you to look at it from the outside. You're standing on that corner and you come out of the belly. What does it feel like to come out of the belly?
I mean, it's just very surreal.
It's surreal.
Just a lot of, you know, sound
Mm-hmm.
and fluid, and it's just
Mm-hmm. And take a look at what happens when you come out. Who holds you first when you come out? Is it your birth mother or Stephanie?
I think it's my adoptive mother, Stephanie.
Okay, take a look at her eyes when she's holding you as this little baby that just came out. What do you feel
Oh,
when you see her?
she loves me. She loved me and she made the choice to keep me.
What does it feel like at that moment to see her with that energy of love looking at you? Feel that energy of love. Allow it to come through. What are those eyes telling you?
She's my mom.
That she's your mom.
She chose me. God chose her for me.
God shows her for you. That's it. Beautiful. Feel the energy of love coming through from mom. She shows you. God shows her for you. And what do you feel when you realize in that moment that she shows you and that God shows her for you?
I just feel very thankful. I feel a lot of love.
That's it. Feel that energy of love. Let it penetrate all of your being. And who else is in that room?
I think my dad and my sister are.
Very well. Allow yourself to go into that moment when the dad hold you at that moment at all. What do you feel? Did he get to hold you in that moment?
It doesn't feel as emotionally or spiritually connected, but in that moment,
Mhm.
but I do feel like it was there. It was like there was something like keeping him from like fully making that connection,
Mhm.
but he's there.
Okay. Count to three. And on the count of three, you're going to go back when you were inside your mother's belly for the first time. That mom, Hope, realized that you were there inside her. There is a lot of things that needs to be done. So we're not going to rush through this. And I want you to allow yourself to give yourself the permission to truly relieve those moments so that you can get the most healing out of today. And on the count of three, you're going to go back inside your mother's belly. And you're going to be back at that moment when she realized that you were inside, of her on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. What do you feel? How many months approximately are you in that moment when mom realized that you were inside of her?
I'm pretty sure it was like 8 to 12 weeks.
Okay. You're connected because you're inside of her. To feel what is it that mom is feeling at that moment when she realizes that you're there.
She's just scattering. She's just like, oh fuck.
Mhm.
She's very she wouldn't let anyone knowing that she had sex with that person, let alone have his child.
And said, what is it that she's feeling when she doesn't want anyone to know?
She's feeling that embarrassment.
She's feeling embarrassed.
She's feeling a lot of embarrassment because my dad is mentally ill.
A lot of embarrassment because that is mentally ill. So see your little body, feel that little body. What happens when you feel that embarrassment from mom? How is it affecting your little body?
It's definitely putting that guilt and shame on me.
How does it do that, I wonder?
Oh no.
Describe what you feel when you notice that connection.
It seems like it's a sticky, cobwebby substance, like a film almost,
Hmm.
that just goes over the top of everything. It just covers everything.
What is everything?
Like a sticky substance. I don't
What part of your body does it cover? Where do you feel it? While you're inside your mother's womb, where do you feel that sticky cobweb substance?
let's see. It just seems like it's on my whole body, like it's layered on the whole thing.
Okay. So feel that sticky cobweb film like all over your little body. How does your body react? Your little body reacts to this film.
It gets more rigid.
It gets rigid. That's it.
That loss of like movement.
Loss of movement. And what do you feel when you get rigid in that little body inside the mother's womb?
Yeah, because it feels like I'm under something's thumb. Like it feels like it's constricting me a little bit.
It feels constricting. That's it. Beautiful. To move forward to another significant experience. After this time when moms find out that you're there and she's feeling so embarrassed, on the count of three, you're going to go forward to another significant experience. And three,
Uh, I feel kind of defeated.
you feel defeated. And why is that, I wonder?
I don't know.
As if you
I
know
guess it's just because
that you feel defeated.
It makes me wonder if she is experiencing some kind of backlash from her family.
What is it that she's feeling?
Feeling like she can't do anything for me.
She cannot do anything. Continue. What happens to you when mom feels like she cannot do anything?
I guess that pretty much, it kind of leaves an imprint.
What is that imprint, I wonder?
That imprint kind of is what stunted my growth.
When you feel like mom is feeling she cannot do anything and you're inside of her, you're feeling a little defeated and you feel that imprint. What is going on with your little body?
It's like I'm still growing, I'm still thriving
Mm-hmm.
in spite of those things. So it's like, okay, well, this is happening anyways. Like the
Mm-hmm.
feeling is like, what is that? Like stubborn, like indignant, almost like
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, you you brought me here,
Mm-hmm. Continue.
brought me here. Now I just, it's not really my fault.
What happens when you realize that it's not really my fault?
It's like, what's gonna, it feels like a questioning, like, well, what's gonna happen
Mm-hmm.
if I'm here no matter what, but I'm stuck.
I'm stuck. Uh-huh. Continue.
I'm stuck with this. It feels like it was already told that it was unfruitful before it even occurred.
What do you
It's
mean?
just, oh man, yeah, it feels like there's something like counter opposing, like something that
Describe
like a,
that experience a little more so that I can understand it.
it just seems like it was like, how could I move forward and grow when I have this? But oh no.
Go back into the moment that you have the aha. What is it that you're experiencing in that moment? Go ahead.
I feel like I just my chance was taken away before I was really given one. It's just like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? How am I
But
supposed to how like I'm given life and everything, but there's a cap on it.
mhm, my chance is taken away before I was given one.
Yeah, it's like she just wrote off part of my beingness before I even was formed. It's like, oh, this one's out.
Mhm.
That's what it seemed like.
With your little soul at that moment, when it's feeling like it was already robbed and that my chance is taken away before I was given one.
It's just covered in that cobweb stuff.
Ah, covering the cobweb. Very well. Count to three. And on the count of three, you're going to go forward to another significant experience while you're still inside your mother's belly. On the count of three. Three. What's going on?
I don't know. Just keep seeing
Mm-hmm.
like a white bench, a white door. I don't
Uh-huh.
know why. I don't know why I'm seeing it.
What does it feel like when you see this bench, this white door?
It feels like I was like fighting something, like I was trying to defend something.
If you know what is it that you were trying to fight, defend.
Just my existence.
Tell me more about this. White door, this bench.
Oh, It seems like it's some type of meeting place. I have to say, I'm probably arguing with God.
That's okay.
I just what it seems like is I'm just very like indignant, like why?
Mm-hmm. And tell
What
me
are you
what
doing
happened.
this for?
So tell me what happens when you're there fighting with God.
It seems like it seems almost like they're like before this next life, like this is what you're going to be born into. You have
Mm-hmm.
these things. Uh these are the things that are obscuring your ability to see the truth. And it that guilt and shame and everything is blanketed my whole perspective, even from the time that I was just a little bundle of cells.
Very well. So go into that moment when you're in that bench, on that bench, and you feel like you're talking to God. And you're going to describe that conversation. Tell me what is it that you're asking? What are they telling you?
Seems like I'm asking why, what for.
Mm-hmm. And what else?
Like it's telling me that it's my my purpose is
Mm-hmm.
like in revealing that light or who I really am around those things that have distorted everyone, the things that have distorted my perception or that I've grown into. Like I've grown into these perceptions that have shaped the way I see the world.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to figure out how to get see beyond all that and get back to my pre-incarnate self.
Mm-hmm. So in that moment when you're talking to God, to ensure that I understand, in that moment when you're talking to God, what is the purpose of this life for this soul?
Uh, just just a bright white light.
Beautiful. So that white, bright light, what is the purpose in this life that it has for this life?
It just seems like it has to do with seeing beyond what is obscured, just those conditions that I was born into. I
Mm-hmm.
have to get underneath those.
Okay. Very well. Anything else that is interesting from that conversation with God?
I guess my attitude is pretty bad.
Tell me more about
Yeah.
that.
It didn't seem like it seems like I was very stuck up and like haughty.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like I just my attitude about it all was
Okay.
and they were like, well, this is what you're dealing with. Like this is what you have to do now. And I'm
Very
like,
well.
what?
And now you're going to completely leave that scene unless there is anything else that they want to tell you before we continue. Okay. On the count of three, you're going to go forward to when the contraction starts while you're inside Hope's belly. On the count of three. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's going on when the contraction starts. What is Hope feeling in that moment?
Yeah, I'm feeling like neither one of us were really ready. Like I think I'm kind of feeling like she was dreading it.
She's dreading it. And what happened when mom is dreading this moment?
I'm dreading it.
Okay, what happens to your little body when you're dreading this moment?
I really just like, nope, trying to like put the brakes on it, like, like not coming out.
What is it that you're trying to avoid by dreading this moment? What is it that you're trying to avoid?
I guess just existing in this situation.
What is the situation? Describe it to me.
I don't know why, but it's like I had this feeling about life even from like a very, very young age.
What is the feeling of?
Um, I don't want it.
Uh-huh.
I guess I'm just,
Uh-huh. Continue.
it's, what's coming to my mind is like you came here for your earthly experience. I don't know
Okay, in that
how to
moment
describe that.
when you don't want to, when you don't want it, and you're dreading that moment, mom is dreading that moment. What happens then as the contractions continue and the moment is getting closer? What is it that your body is doing?
It's going it's going through being born even though I'm trying to resist it.
So there is this resistance before you're out of the belly. There are a few things that I want you to experience. When you start going through the birth canal, what part of your body starts coming out first?
My head.
The head, okay. Pay attention to what happens to your body before you start going into the birth canal. Tell me, what is your body doing when it's trying to avoid it, when it doesn't want to come out, when it's dreading the moment? What is your little body doing?
I think I was tensing up.
You're tensing up. Feel that tension. And tell me, show me how your body moved in that moment when you were tensing up.
Yeah, I think I was like,
Mm-hmm. Very, very well. And as you start coming out through the canal, describe the experience when you're going through the canal and your head starts going through the canal. What does it feel like to go through the canal?
I think it's painful. It's like pushing all my bones together.
Pain. Where do you feel that pain when it's crushing
Like all throughout this right side of my body
the
and my
right side?
head.
Mm-hmm. The right side of the body, the head is feeling that tension, that pressure, that pain as you're coming out of the canal. Continue. What happens?
I think maybe I got stuck.
What happens when you got stuck? What do you feel in that moment when you got stuck?
Maybe that like this is it. I don't
Continue.
I think they cut her. Like I'm just getting a vision of them like cutting her to get me
Mhm.
out.
So as you go through the canal, they had to stop and call mom to get you out.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is very important. You're going to go back to the moment when you're stuck in the canal and tell me in that moment, what are your physical reactions in that little body when you're stuck?
It doesn't really feel like panic or anything. It felt like certainty. Like I don't know. It's weird.
Certainty. What was the certainty of? As if you know.
I don't know.
As if you know.
maybe that it was going to happen whether I wanted it to or not.
Okay. So in that moment when you're stuck and you're feeling certainty that it's going to happen whether you want to or no,
Yeah.
what are your emotional reactions in that moment when you have that certainty?
I guess there's some level of acceptance.
Okay. So there is that level of acceptance. And in that moment when you have that level of acceptance, what are your mental reactions in that moment?
Um, I guess it just,
In that moment, what are your mental reactions when you have that level of acceptance?
I don't know. It just feels like I was grounded. Like I was certain, like I knew that it was going to happen either way. Like there was some knowing.
There was a knowing. Very well. Now continue when you realize that mom is being cut open to take you out. What is happening in that moment?
There's a lot of blood.
What do you feel when you see all of that blood, that all of that red color?
It's like panic a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems chaotic and
Mm-hmm. Continue to feel all of that chaos, that panic. What happens then when you're seeing all of that red color, all that chaos? You're panicking. What is it that your body do when it's panicking in that moment?
I think I was crying, screaming.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I feel like part of me knew that I wasn't ever going to be next to her again.
Part of you
Like
knew. Mm-hmm.
I feel like my little baby self just knew that I was not going to be that I was going to strange. I was not going to be around anything familiar.
Mm.
I think part of me knew that she was not going to be there.
And when you realize that part of you in that moment knows that you were not going to be with her, what is it really that you're feeling?
Um Loneliness and isolation and
Mm-hmm. Feel that loneliness.
solidarity,
Mm-hmm.
if that's the right word.
Feel that alone. Feel that feeling, that energy of feeling alone, lonely, isolated. Allow yourself to feel that. I want you to go back. I'm going to count to three. And on the count of three, you're going to go back to that moment when mom is making plans to give you up for adoption. You're going to allow yourself to go back to that moment, to experience that moment on the count of three. 1, 2, and 3. What do you feel in that moment when mom is making plans?
I think I'm feeling disregarded.
Feeling disregarded? Continue. What happens when you feel disregarded and you're inside the belly?
It's this feeling in my chest and my soul, like of permanence, of
Continue. That
uh,
feeling, what exactly?
I guess I just think I felt like she was she was not claiming me, she was not accepting me. um she
What does that make you feel when mom is not claiming or accepting you? What do you feel in that moment as that little baby inside her? And mom is not claiming or accepting you.
just feel out of place. I
Feel it.
just think I
Mhm.
had some anger and resentment towards her.
So pay attention to your little body. When you're feeling that anger, that resentment, feeling out of place, what happens to your little body when you feel all of those things?
I just feel kind of shut down.
Mhm. Feel shut down. That's it. Continue.
Um,
What happens when your little body shuts down? What does that feel like? What does it look like?
it feels like just stunted, just just stopped.
Mhm. Very well. So in that moment when mom is making plans, she's not claiming or accepting you, and you feel that resentment, that anger. I feel shut down. Is there anything else that is going on in that moment that is significant?
Oh,
In that moment when you're feeling all of that resentment, what does that resentment appears like to this little baby? Where is that resentment energy within your little body?
I just feel it in my head. Like it just feels like this little spark that goes off, this little twinge of anger that's just like, you did this.
Mhm.
This type of, I don't know.
Very well. In that moment, when you're feeling this resentment, that little twitch in the brain, you're going to go back to that moment when you're, before going back, I want you to pay attention to anything that mom consumed during the pregnancy that made you feel uncomfortable. Was there anything that she ever consumed that made you feel uncomfortable while you were inside her belly?
I'm pretty sure that I experienced a loss of blood flow and oxygen because of her doing coke.
Okay.
I think that that constricted me and limited my blood flow.
Count to three. And on the count of three, you're going to go back to a moment before you were born when mom was doing coke. And you're going to allow yourself to relive that moment and allow yourself to feel what you need to feel to be done with that experience once and for all. On the count of three. And three. What does it feel like? As if you knew.
Oh, I just disrespected.
Feel
Just
this.
so much anger. Just she was trying to hurt me because she didn't care.
She was trying to hurt me. Continue.
She just had resentment and anger about being pregnant and didn't give a fuck about my life. She's
Mhm.
just like, well, who cares about this baby, anyways?
Mhm. What do you feel in that moment when mom is being disrespectful and she's trying to hurt you? What
Like, I
is,
just, I don't even have a chance, and my life isn't even started yet.
I don't even have a chance. My life hasn't even started. What is your little body trying to do in this moment when it's,
Get oxygen. I think I'm struggling and I'm just constricted, and there's nothing I can do to get more and to get air.
there is no oxygen in that moment?
Yeah.
So in that moment when there is no oxygen and you cannot get air, what is happening to your little body?
I was panicking.
What happens when you're panicking inside the belly?
There's nowhere to go. There's no way to get out of the.
There is nowhere to go. There is no way to get out of what?
To get out of it. Like I was
Mhm.
writhing around in it, struggling for air.
I was struggling for air. Pay attention to what happens when you're struggling for air. You're feeling there's nowhere to go. Allow yourself to feel all of those emotions. I don't even have a chance. That's it. Feel all of that emotion that is pent up and it needs to be released. I don't even have a chance. I feel disrespected. She's trying to hurt me. That's it. Feel all of that. When there is no oxygen, pay attention to what happens to your brain. Is there anything that you notice happens to your brain when there is no oxygen?
Everything just stops.
Everything stops. What happens to your lungs when there is no oxygen?
They were constricted. I wasn't able to breathe.
Mhm. Very well. Anything else that you would like to share about that experience? Okay. So now you're going to go forward. Before we go forward, tell me, where is your soul at that moment? When you're trying to grasp for air, there is no air, there is nowhere to go.
Experiencing that.
Okay. So now you're going to go to the last day while you're inside your mother's belly and you're stuck in the middle of the canal and they have to open up the belly. There is blood, you're panicking. Tell me what happens then when they open up the belly. What do you feel is happening?
I think I finally felt free when I was born vaginally. They had to cut her vagina.
Okay.
And I believe I think I can imagine that I felt pretty free bursting out of there.
You're bursting out. That's it. And now you're going to go to that moment when you're out. And tell me, what are your impressions when you come out? What are your first impressions when you come out of the belly?
I don't know. I
As
think
if you know.
I felt like a sense of wonder.
Beautiful. There is a sense of wonder. That's it. Continue. What happens with all the lights and what the doctors are saying? What do you hear them saying?
You know, I think that Hope said she didn't want to hold me.
Hope said that she didn't want to hold you.
I'm pretty sure she said, no, I don't want to hold her. I don't want to see her. I'm pretty sure that she rejected me and immediately had my adoptive mom hold me.
And in that moment, when mom Hope said that she didn't want to hold you, what did you feel in that moment? Now that you're out of the belly, it's so chaotic. There is a sense of wonder.
I mean, there was like a rejection and a feeling like this is where I came to life and this is where I was grown and this is everything I know. And how could you not want any to hold me? Like, how could you not want, like it? I think that I just felt rejected.
I felt rejected. Allow yourself to feel that energy of rejection from Hope. Allow yourself to feel that. And now, notice when they call the cord, the umbilical cord. What did you feel in that moment?
Oh no. Just I think I felt like an individual, like I didn't feel like I had any family.
So you felt like an individual? Is there another word, emotion attached to that statement?
I don't know the word for it.
Okay.
Alone.
Yeah. So in that moment when you're feeling alone, lonely, you don't have any family in that moment, and it feels she's rejecting you, when you feel that rejection.
And
And
like wondering who I'm going with.
there is a sense of wondering who you're going to go with. In that moment when you feel that sense of wonder, what's going on with you? What is it that's happening that you're wondering about?
I guess just who my family is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Now pay attention when the umbilical cord is caught. And you're going to do the same thing with the energetic cord that is still attached to that experience of being inside the belly, feeling all that shame, guilt, embarrassment, feeling rejected. You're going to call that energetic cord. And you're going to use your hands to call that cord. Wherever it is, you said that it was around your belly. You're going to use your fingers to cut it. Taking notice that you are disconnecting from that experience so that the shame, the guilt, the rejection, embarrassment can no longer affect you as it did before. And there are a few things that you're going to have to do. You're going to go back to that moment when your mother embraced you for the first time, Stephanie. And you're going to relive that moment once again. Tell me, what do you feel when you see her eyes?
I feel chosen.
Beautiful. Feel that energy of feeling chosen, feeling loved. Feel that moment. Feel how she holds you, how she looks at you. Her hope, her love in the eyes. And what is she telling you with those eyes?
She loves me.
Beautiful. Feeling all of that energy of love, acceptance, being chosen. And now there are a few things that you're going to have to do. The first thing is that you're going to talk to Hope. And you're going to tell her everything that you need to tell her to be done with that experience once and for all. Go ahead.
Hope. I wish that you could have processed your emotions better. I wish that I wish that you didn't take out your anger on me. I wish that
Continue.
I don't know what I want to say to Hope because I just see her as a child and her being left by her mother and her being abused and her not having anyone. I just imagine all of her sexual trauma, all of the trauma of her life, and how that caused her to act, and how that caused her to sleep around. And
So what do you want to tell Hope?
I said I love her and I understand.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like forgiveness is appropriate?
Yeah, I
Okay.
forgive her.
Go ahead. So you are
No,
connected.
I'm very upset about how I was affected by how you did drugs and alcohol and smoked cigarettes. Why you, how you disregarded my life and injured it. I'm going to forgive you.
Very well. So there is one more thing that you're going to have to do. And you see that you're going to ask Hope, your bio mother, to give you the mother energy that she neglected to give you, that she couldn't give you. That energy of the mother, of compassion, love, understanding, acceptance. You're going to receive that energy with your hands, and you're going to demand that energy from her now. As that energy is coming to you, it's going through a filter of divine light so that it can really be cleansed and whole with only the best intentions for you. Ask Hope for that mother energy that she couldn't give you, that she couldn't figure out how to give you. Go ahead.
I know that you have a maternal side in you under all the trauma. You're light. I know we would have connected. You are my mother. I know you loved me. I know you wanted to care for me. You couldn't. I accept it. I accept you where you're at in this life.
Please give me the mother energy that belongs to me naturally.
Please give me the mother energy that belongs to me.
And receive that energy from Hope. Pay attention to what it feels like. What does that energy feels like?
It feels light. It's swift.
Beautiful. Ensuring that you receive all of that energy, the mother energy, the feminine energy, compassion, love, understanding, acceptance. So now you're going to talk to Stephanie, your mom. And you're going
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for loving me and choosing me. Thank you for taking on my struggles without knowing what you were getting into. Without knowing what you were accepting.
very well. Now, if there is any energy that mom owes you because she couldn't figure out how to communicate with you or anything else, you can ask her also for that mother energy. That energy that she wishes she would have given you, but maybe she couldn't figure out how to give you.
Thank you. I know, although you couldn't understand in the moment how to be there, I know that you will understand eventually and be able to see me.
So, what energy mom needs to give you that you haven't received?
The understanding.
Okay, so ask mom for that energy of understanding, that energy that you wish she could have given you, and receive that energy. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Now, there is still one more thing that you have to do. You might want to grab some more tissues for this part. And now you're going to go back to that moment when mom was doing all the coke, drugs, alcohol, whatever it was. And you're going to energetically spell that out from your energetic body. You're going to do whatever you need to do to spell that energy of the cocaine, drugs, alcohol from your energetic body. Ensuring that you're taking all of that out. And also because it came through you, through your blood, you're also going to have to cough that out. Ensuring that you do whatever you need to do to take all of that energy from the cocaine, drugs, and alcohol out of your body. Not leaving anything behind. Absolutely taking out all of that energy of the cocaine, feeling the lack of oxygen, the dizziness that comes with it, feeling disrespected, all of that energy of the drugs, the cocaine, alcohol is coming out of your energetic body completely now. Taking all of it out, and let me know when you're done, ensuring that there is nothing else there. And finally, there is one more thing that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to talk to that. You're going to call forward the energy of that, and you're going to tell that everything that you wish to tell him. Go ahead.
I don't know what to say. I love my dad. I appreciate my dad so much. I'm thankful that he has recognized the ways that he's wounded me and
Good.
my sister, and in that he's changed his life course and really tried to understand how words have negatively impacted us and changed how he acts.
Good. So you're going to ask that for the father energy, all those moments that he called you stupid, all those moments that he told you that you were not desirable. Request that energy to release those imprints of feeling stupid, feeling like you're not beautiful enough, attractive enough. You're going to ask that for that energy of the father, the protected energy, the energy of assertiveness, strength, masculine divine energy, nurturing father energy, the protector energy that he couldn't give you, that he didn't know how to give you. You're going to ask him for that now. Go ahead.
I ask for the paternal energy to come to me and meet me in all those moments that he could not. I'm going to ask for there to be a just knowing who I am, and not letting those things, not letting myself absorb those negative things, but knowing the truth.
Okay, so ask that for the father energy, whether that energy is going to come from bio dad or both of them. You're going to ask for the father energy. Keep your eyes closed, and you're going to receive that energy with your hands of the father, the protected, assertive
I ask for the father energy to come to me.
energy of strength, protection, assertive.
Strength, protection, courage.
Mhm. Feeling all of that energy, letting all of that energy come forward. Describe what that energy feels like.
It feels understanding and compassionate. It feels empathetic, and it feels assertive.
Yeah. Receiving all of that energy. And now in this moment, I am asking the collective ancestor energy to come forward, asking for the ancestor collective energy of your family line, whether it is blood or non-blood related, the ancestor cosmic soul family members to come through at this moment. Tell me what you feel when I ask for them to come forward. What do you see?
I see an old lady, an older lady.
Ask her who she is. Who is she?
She just says she's a grandmother.
Okay. What is her name? Ask her for her name.
Starts with a C. What is your name? Clary.
Clary. Describe Clary
Clary.
to me. Get close to her. Tell me what is the energy. Is it warm or cold?
It's a little of both.
Okay.
She's got long gray hair,
Mm-hmm.
kind of an oval face, and she's older. She looks like she's in her 80s.
Ask her what is the first message she has for you today.
She just is saying, I knew you'd understand.
What is it that you needed to understand?
Why we brought you here.
Tell me more about that.
It's something like, we brought you here because we knew that you would come to understand.
Understand what, I wonder.
Yeah, understand these things in this lifetime.
Okay, so what is it that you need to understand?
I guess just how to see beyond the things that obscure our light.